If we had to choose the greatest and most mysterious architectural structure of humankind, the pyramids would undoubtedly be a top contender. Alongside mummies and the Sphinx, the Great Pyramids of Egypt have become iconic symbols, featured in countless movies, adventure tales, and even horror stories. Archaeological evidence suggests that the pyramids were built at least 12,000 years ago, far before the emergence of ancient Egyptian civilization. Perhaps they were the work of a prehistoric civilization that existed long before. To this day, no definitive, comprehensive, or precise answer has been given to unravel the mysteries of the pyramids. It's no coincidence that among the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the pyramid stands at the highest rank and is the only wonder that still exists today. It is generally understood that the ancient Egyptians built the Great Pyramid of Giza around 2500 BC. However, this theory reveals several flaws. First, estimates suggest that the Egyptians used about 2.4 million stone blocks, each weighing between 2 to 4 tons on average, with some blocks weighing as much as 15 tons. In the midst of a vast desert, how could the ancient Egyptians have transported these massive stones to construct such colossal structures? Although numerous theories have been proposed, none have been entirely convincing from an architectural or engineering standpoint. The Giza Pyramid Complex was designed and constructed in a completely unique way. It lacks an internal framework, relying solely on the precisely measured stone blocks for stability and strength. Unlike other Egyptian tombs, these pyramids bear no religious symbols or hieroglyphs inside, raising doubts about whether they were indeed built by the ancient Egyptians, who typically inscribed their tombs with sacred texts. Furthermore, although the pyramid appears to have 4 sides, it actually has 8. Each face is slightly indented by 0.5 to 1 degree, creating an unusual 8-sided structure that modern technology would find challenging to replicate. The location of the Giza Pyramid Complex is extraordinarily special. It sits exactly at the intersection of the longest line of longitude and the longest line of latitude on Earth. This means that the pyramid is positioned at the center of the landmass on Earth. Additionally, the 3 largest pyramids, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure are not only aligned perfectly with each other on the ground, but also with the 3 stars of Orion's belt. Astronomers have also pointed out that the Giza complex is aligned precisely with the true North Pole of Earth. Even though these structures were built thousands of years ago, the pyramids still hold the title of the most accurately aligned to true north. The question then arises, how could people over 4,000 years ago possess such precise astronomical and geographical knowledge? To explain these peculiarities, historians Wary Cannon and Malcolm Hutton proposed an alternative theory regarding the age of the Giza pyramids, backed by supporting evidence. They suggest that the Great Sphinx of Giza, which predates the pyramids, must have been carved from natural rock before the desert sands covered the area. In an interview with Express UK, Cannon stated, "The Sphinx must have been carved when there was no sand there. You cannot carve a stone when it's buried in sand." This condition would have occurred around 12,000 years ago, long before the time of the ancient Egyptians. Moreover, archaeologists have discovered a thick layer of sediment around the base of the pyramids, containing fossilized shells that date back approximately 11,600 years. This evidence suggests that the pyramids and the Sphinx may have been built at least 12,000 years ago, possibly before the last ice age. According to Professor Cannon, this significant time discrepancy indicates that these colossal tombs were not constructed by the ancient Egyptians. It's worth mentioning that historical records reveal unusual phenomena occurring inside the pyramids. For example, corroded coins left inside the pyramids for a month became shiny again. A cup of fresh milk placed in the pyramids showed no signs of spoiling after a month, and fresh fruit stored for weeks remained fresh without losing water or drying out. This suggests that the ancient Egyptians may have merely discovered the pyramids' remarkable preservation properties and used them to store mummies. Later, they might have studied these structures and built smaller versions of their own. Interestingly, archaeologists have also found numerous remains of giant humans from around 12,000 years ago, corresponding with the estimated construction time of the Great Pyramids. These ancient giants were estimated to stand between 4 to 12 meters tall. With such enormous height, building the pyramids would have been as easy for them as constructing skyscrapers is for us today. So who really built these structures? Cannon and Hutton believe that these gigantic structures may have been erected by an advanced civilization that existed long before, possibly Atlantis, which was eventually destroyed by a cataclysmic flood. Cannon stated, "I've done some research and found a link between the pyramids and a submerged continent. It could be Atlantis. When Atlantis sank, its people dispersed. Perhaps one group settled in Egypt, and they had the technology and knowledge to build the pyramids as we see today. No one else could have done this. It required highly advanced technology." The 3 smaller pyramids at Giza might have been built by the ancient Egyptians, as they could have been manageable by humans. However, the idea that the largest pyramid, with 2.25 million stone blocks, some weighing up to 250 tons, was built by the Egyptians is entirely unreasonable. We can't even move these blocks today with all the machinery we have. Therefore, the civilization we are referring to may have been far more advanced than our own. The existence of other advanced civilizations before our current one does not remain just a hypothesis. Numerous strange artifacts and ruins discovered around the world support this theory. For example, in June 1968, collector William Meister found a 5 centimeters thick slab of rock in Antelope Springs, Utah. Embedded in the rock was the fossilized footprint of a human, along with a very peculiar find, a trilobite fossil, a creature that went extinct 250 million years ago. How could a human step on a creature that disappeared hundreds of millions of years ago, especially wearing shoes, which indicate an advanced civilization? The fossilized footprint was dated to hundreds of millions of years old. In another extraordinary example, in 1972, a French factory imported uranium ore from Oklo, Gabon, Africa. To their surprise, the engineers found that the uranium had already been used. Upon further investigation, they discovered that the ore site was the location of a large nuclear reactor that existed 1.8 billion years ago and had operated for nearly 500,000 years. The reactor's structure was so advanced that even modern technology would struggle to replicate it. There are many such unexplained ancient artifacts scattered across the globe. Many brave scientists have acknowledged that advanced prehistoric civilizations have existed and vanished multiple times throughout Earth's long history. In the end, the truth about our origin seems vastly different from the standard narrative we've been taught. The idea that we are the only advanced civilization that has ever existed, evolving from apes, may not be the full story. Only those who are willing to break free from preconceived notions and critically examine the discoveries of archaeology can begin to grasp the deeper truths of our past. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to continue joining us on these fascinating journeys to uncover the truth.